I've seen some interesting factors in the cases I've been doing. I would say in about 30% of cases, the patient, no matter how, often if it's really quite serious, they wake up the next day feeling very good. In so much as a feeling of well-being, a feeling of peace, a feeling of interconnectedness with the world. Well, obviously we're interconnecting to the world. And as a result of that, there's a diminishment of the symptoms of, it might be their stomach ulcer or other things. Probably not, the diminishment of the symptoms is not much more dramatic than it can be with ordinary BodyTalk, but the well-being gives them the impression that they've had dramatic results, right? And at the same time, I still find that the basic symptoms will need sometimes, and reasonably often, a follow-up. And sometimes they'll feel good and they can come back a bit, like it can in BodyTalk. But the underlying feeling of well-being and feeling at one with the world and communication is quite overwhelmingly powerful, right? And for certainly things like stress conditions and PTSD, it's like, what the hell am I worried about, right? Because you feel you're in touch with the world, right? And not with the world just around you. You really can focus anywhere in the world and take in information from it. There are sensitive people who can tell there's a hurricane. Esther will be here, but she could tell a hurricane coming in the Caribbean long before we were told about it on TV. She would get the whirling and all sorts of things, right? That communication, if you're open to it, and can be a nuisance sometimes when it's things you're not interested in. So, other than that, yes, you will need follow-up treatments because sometimes the structural change, so you instigate a lot, but the structural change still requires nervous system, hormones, etc. And that can still take a bit of time, but it'll be done faster. You'll still need to do some follow-up treatments, probably, but the overall feeling of well-being and connectedness to me is very, very important because that's going to reduce the tendency to build up the stress factors that are going to precipitate, all the stress-type diseases, or when you've got things like arthritis, make it feel worse. So from that point of view, it's very good. And the other, of course, is that the brain, the three brains, they operate at high speed. And most people, they're trying to operate beyond their capability, especially in right brain activity. The right brain is much faster than the left brain. But for advanced computations, even the right brain in many people is limited. The example being, if your left brain, I said, imagine a giraffe. Well, on the left brain, you would imagine a giraffe as you've seen it in the photos or at the zoo with the colouring and everything like that. But if I said, now I want you to imagine the giraffe being blue with green and purple spots, right? Now what happens is your right brain can't do that. It doesn't have speed enough to blend all that together. Your left brain can't do it, but your right brain goes and does that. So the right brain because it's so much faster, enables you to put more together. Now for some people they can do it very fast and vividly, but others not so fast. If you do Mindscape, you learn to be faster than the average person. But once you tune into this stuff and you get it, you will find that your right brain is capable of seeing a whole herd of giraffes, and each one of them with all different types of colours, etc., because you've got the computation power to be able to hold all those things together. And that computation power means that you are using the torsion fields and scalar fields in order to be able to blend everything together at much higher speed. And I mean much, much higher speed. Nerves travel at 200 miles a second. Torsion fields travel at 10 to the 29th times the speed of light. In other words, they're instantaneous. Torsion field leaving my brain now would hit Mars instantaneously. Okay, so like I said, it's fun. And but I don't think it's going to be hard to understand. I don't have a huge PowerPoint, because once I've explained the basic facts, I'll then be looking at ways of using them. right, and concepts around using them, and then getting you and doing practical. I'll also do a lot of demonstrations myself. All right, so I think it's going to be very exciting. I'm really looking forward to it, and you know, I think by next year it will be the buzzword in BodyTalk. It's going to be a very important part. All right, thank you very much.